Greetings, YouTube. So, there's a proposal in Chicago. Let me run it down for you. Students will soon have to show that they have a secure job or receive a letter of acceptance to college, a trade apprenticeship, a gap year program, the military in order to graduate. Rahm Emanuel, Mayor of Chicago, we are going to help kids have a plan because they're going to need it to succeed. You cannot have kids thinking that 12th grade is done. Karen Lewis, president of the Chicago Teachers Union, it sounds good on paper, but the problem is that when you've cut the number of counselors in schools, when you've cut the kind of services that kids need, who is going to do the work? If you've done the work to earn a diploma, then you should get a diploma, because if you don't, you are forcing kids into more poverty. And that's a wonderful point. Now, is it easier to get a job if you have a high school diploma or if you don't have a high school diploma? I know my company requires you to have a GED or a high school diploma. You can't get hired without it. And my company doesn't pay bad. It's a pretty decent job. It doesn't require a lot of skills to get the job. And as soon as you get there, you can work at it. You can spend years at the job, move yourself into a better position. I've seen people become maintenance people. I've seen people become lead operators, become business cell leaders, and even move higher up into the front office. It can happen, but you have to have a GED or a diploma to achieve those ends. And this program is going to stop people from doing that. Now, someone made a really good comment, and I'm going to pull that one up, which is going to take me a second because I remember where it is. It says, what I don't get is, why is this even being proposed? And this comment is from Panjamdrum, because it sounds good. If you don't think about it for more than 3 seconds, public schools, particularly urban public schools, are a complex system which is popularly agreed to be broken, about which something needs to be done. Rather than acknowledge the complexity to the system, which often has its roots in socioeconomic factors beyond the school system, proposing a simplistic, easily understood, and most importantly, easy message solution allows a politician to show how committed they are to doing something to fix a broken system. In this case, it's the classic technique of identifying a simplistic ideal outcome, then requiring that outcome happen per policy, law, etc., without actually putting in place any of the complicated, nuanced, introspective changes which would actually bring about said outcome. Just make the desired end state the required end state, pretend like this is a solution, and blame the teachers union, a culture of poverty, whatever when it doesn't occur. The most important thing is that you did something. And this is absolutely spot on. Now, I have never seen this particular process happen in a school, but I have seen it happen in businesses. Many times I have seen someone come into a new managerial position. They make some changes. If the changes work, they are applauded. And then they use that as a stepping stone to move up in the company. If they don't get fired, or even the worst they'll do is make a lateral transition to an easier job, or one that they prefer. And if the changes they have made fail to improve the system, they blame the culture of obstinance, or just like these people won't change, or they're not flexible and dynamic, something. They blame the people rather than it saying, maybe the changes I made were useless. Maybe I just threw some random crap against the wall and hoped something stuck. No. You can't admit that. But that's what they're doing. They're throwing crap at the wall and hoping something sticks. And Rahm Emanuel is doing just that. He's throwing crap at the wall and hoping something sticks. Now, the rich kids, they'll get the gap year deferment, or their parents will get someone to sign off on an apprenticeship or an internship or an acceptance to some school. They probably already have, and they're never going to have to worry about this. This whole piece of bullshit that's been put into the path of high school graduation is never going to affect anyone in the upper middle class or the wealthy. Never going to touch them. But the poor kids who can't get a write-off for a school or for a gap year or get an apprenticeship, says because their grades are not all that great, but they've got just enough to make it past the post, they're going to end up going into military. Or just not getting a diploma because their after high school option is get a job. Or they may have kids. Take care of kids. That apparently isn't an option. Now, this plan right there would have devastated me. I had no plans after high school. Do you know what my high school graduation plan was? Suicide. Yep. I had planned on killing myself on graduation night. That was my plan. I didn't do it because I was in love with someone and they didn't want to see me die. I should be thankful for that, because if I didn't have her in my life, I wouldn't have made it. But I did. But this whole bullshit plan that Emmanuel's throwing out there wouldn't have helped me at all. It would have just meant I didn't get a diploma. That's what it would have meant. I wouldn't have actually graduated. So how about we not throw bullshit obstacles into the path of high school students? And how about we make the changes we need to help them move forward? Of course, that's a whole lot of societal changes we'd have to do. For example, a living wage. For example, putting people before profits. That would be an interesting concept now, wouldn't it? But we're not going to make those changes. We're just going to come up with bullshit like this. Congratulations, Chicago. You've come up with a worse idea than just trying to get kids to graduate.